When my sister called asking for a favor, I didn't think twice. Her son, Lucas, needed a quiet place to study for the entrance exam to the military academy. He would stay a month at my house in Florianopolis. I agreed right away. My husband, Ricardo, was fine with it too. I still remembered Lucas as a cheerful little boy, always running around with messy hair and a smile that could melt anyone's heart. But when he arrived, I was honestly surprised. He wasn't that little boy anymore. He was taller than I expected, his shoulders broader, his voice deeper. He had grown into a young man with a calm and confident energy that caught everyone's attention. "Wow, Lucas," I said, smiling. "You've changed so much. You've become quite the man." He laughed shyly. "Yeah, Auntie, I guess time does that. I've been training hard and studying a lot." That first night, during dinner, he talked about his dreams, how much he wanted to make his late father proud by joining the academy. His focus impressed me. In a world full of distractions, it was rare to see such discipline in someone his age. A few days later, Ricardo had to travel for work. It became just me and Lucas at home. I didn't mind. He was polite, organized, and kind. Every morning, I'd see him outside jogging before sunrise. Then he'd study for hours, barely taking breaks. I began to admire his persistence. Sometimes, when I'd prepare breakfast, he'd come into the kitchen and talk about the subjects he was struggling with. His seriousness reminded me of the importance of perseverance, something I'd slowly forgotten in my own life. But there was also something else I noticed, the way time and distance change people. It's strange to see a child you once carried in your arms turn into an adult making his own decisions. It made me reflect on life, on how fast everything moves. One morning, I told him, "Lucas, you should take a break once in a while. Life isn't only about goals, it's about moments too." He smiled. "I know, Auntie. But right now, I really want to make it. Once I pass the exam, I'll rest." His determination touched me. He wasn't just chasing a career, he was chasing a dream. Days passed in peaceful routine, studying, training, and sharing quiet meals. Still, I could sense something unspoken in him. Sometimes he looked worried, as if something else was bothering him. One afternoon, as we were cleaning the kitchen, I decided to ask, "Lucas, is everything okay? You seem tense these days." He hesitated, then sighed. "Sometimes I doubt myself, Andy. What if I don't make it? What if I'm not good enough?" I smiled softly. "Lucas, everyone who works as hard as you do will succeed. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. Remember that." He nodded, visibly relieved. That day, I realized he didn't just need a place to study, he needed someone to remind him that he was capable. That night, I thought a lot about how we all carry silent fears. We chase dreams, but forget to take care of our hearts along the way. Lucas reminded me of that balance, to keep moving forward, but with kindness toward yourself. Over the next week, he started opening up more. During breakfast, we'd talk about life, mistakes, and second chances. He even helped me fix a few things around the house that Ricardo had been postponing for months. Every evening, we'd sit in the garden and watch the sunset. Sometimes in silence, sometimes sharing stories. It became our little ritual. One evening, he said, "Auntie, thank you for letting me stay. I didn't realize how much I needed this calm before the storm." I smiled. Sometimes life gives you pauses to prepare for what's next. As the exam date came closer, I could see the pressure on his face. The night before the test, he came to the kitchen for a cup of tea. "I'm scared," he admitted quietly. I looked at him and said, "Courage isn't the absence of fear, Lucas. It's doing what you must, even when fear is there." He nodded, and I saw something change in his eyes, confidence replacing doubt. The next morning, he left early. I wished him luck, and as I watched him go, I realized how much he had grown, not just physically, but emotionally. When he returned later that week, he was glowing with joy. "Auntie, I think I nailed it," he said, his voice full of excitement. I laughed and hugged him tightly. "See? I told you. Hard work always pays off." That night, Ricardo returned from his trip, and we celebrated with a small dinner. Lucas was different now, calmer, stronger, more sure of himself. Later, when I went to bed, I felt proud. Not just of him, but of the time we'd shared. Sometimes, helping someone chase their dream reminds you to look for your own again. A month later, Lucas left for the academy. As he waved goodbye, he said, "Auntie, I'll never forget what you told me about courage." I smiled, tears in my eyes. Go make your future, Lucas. You've earned it. And that was it. The boy who once ran through my house with toy airplanes had become a man ready to fly for real. It's funny how life works. We think we're the ones helping others, but often, they're the ones helping us rediscover who we are.